Welcome to Business News. Key players in the water industry are discussing ways at which the infrastructure gap present in the sector can be bridged. According to them, if this is done, there will be development of water resources, production and supply for water for sustaining the world's population. We have details in this report.
Water scarcity is the lack of sufficient water resources to meet the demands of water usage in a region. A recent global water report reveals that the world will be faced with water shortage by 2030. This implies that only 60% of global water demand is met. Research has also shown that more than 2 billion people globally are living with excess global water stress.
There is a big need to look beyond the surface of our problems and deep into the conditions of our water infrastructures with the aim of fixing everything that begs adjustments. There must be concerted efforts of all countries of the world to affect a significant policy that will drive development of water resources and accelerate production and supply of water for sustaining the world population.
Lagos State Water Corporation, an agency saddled with the responsibility of providing potable water for over 22 million people, is now partnering with industry players in providing a platform that will drive development of water resources and accelerate production.
The pattern of underinvestment needs to be changed and practices put in place to sustain the water services provided by water infrastructures and utilities, because historically, investment has not been enough to meet the ongoing need to maintain and renew infrastructures in the water sector.
Last year we had some conference where we had some revelations about the forecast about water, the water shortage, the water challenges, and how best we can move forward to create solutions. And one of the significance of having this event, especially in Lagos, is that you want a situation whereby when you want to talk about creating water solutions for the problems in the water problems in Africa, you have to come to Lagos to discuss it and also find solutions.
Everyone here agrees that pragmatic steps must be taken by government to attract more investments, a development that will improve productivity in the water sector.
The Central Bank of Nigeria is extending support to poultry farmers in Nigeria. It wants to introduce a university-based poultry revival program to boost output in the sector. Lara Folayon reports that poultry farmers laud the initiative but want low-cost financing.
Poultry farming is the most commercialized area of agriculture. It contributes 25% to the sector's gross domestic product in Nigeria. But the country's local poultry production cannot meet demand. This results in smuggling of over 1.2 million tons of poultry meat into Nigeria from Benin Republic annually to augment this shortfall.
In ratio to our population, we have gone nowhere. The reasons are simple. Poultry is a bit capital intensive, and cost of capital in our country is very high. So, and the risks involved are also very high.
The Central Bank of Nigeria says the poultry industry has immense potentials, which has yet to be unlocked. It is now to work with the academia on a university-based poultry revival program.
Produce chicken meat and eggs to reduce importation and close the existing demand and supply gap. 2. Raise a new crop of agripreneurs in modern poultry production. 3. Produce infrastructure that will support the sustainable production of poultry.
The Apex Bank is already holding talks with vice-chancellors of Nigerian universities on making this a reality. The institutions are expected to use their existing poultry production models to produce poultry at reduced cost and in a competitive way. To the poultry farmers, this is cheering news. but they also want intervention in areas of low-cost financing.
Disposable income in Nigeria is very low. So we have only option of we need to increase consumption. We cannot increase consumption unless we increase production. And we cannot increase production with high cost of capital. So the number one intervention is how do we reduce the cost of capital in the poultry industry?
The central bank will be monitoring the implementation of funds disbursed for the Poultry Revival Project to ensure the objective is fulfilled. Lara Folayo, TVC News, Abuja.
And that's it in business news.